Buongiorno.
Hello.
This is Laura.
And this is Hillary.
And this is American Unicorns.
Nay.
It's
a weird day. I'm feeling very weird today.
I have been quite ill over the past week.
Tell us about it.
I will.
Tell us all of your intimate medical history.
I will. So, first of all, I will say that I went to urgent care and they were they were not prepared for me because as a hypochondriac, I already know that somebody who doesn't know my medical history is going to be wrong.
Yeah.
And the doctor there said, looks like dehydration. And I was like, well, that's wrong.
Did you WebMD your symptoms?
Of course I did. Of course. Well, and here's the other thing.
What would WebMD say?
WebMD would not give me the option to put in lower abdominal pain. Like it keeps you pick parts of the body and I was like, my pee smells weird. And like pee doesn't come up, like you can't. Yeah. So it was annoying. Hated it. So then I went to my doctor when they opened and she's Johnny on the spot. She's never done me wrong. One time she was on vacation when I went in there. And so I saw a different doctor. And she was like, well, and I was also having lower abdominal pain. That's an area that's tricky for me. And the doctor there was like, I was like, I'm in excruciating pain right here. And she was like, well,
did they have you pick which smiley face you were the most like?
No, they do that at the hospital, not at the doctor's office. And but I did do that later. Yeah. That day because the doctor was like, I think it's just your period. You should take ibuprofen and go home. So that's what I did, and I then threw up the ibuprofen and took myself to the hospital. It was a kidney stone.
That time.
This time, it's a cyst on my ovary.
Ouch. Not good.
Yeah. It's good times.
Fun fact, during the presidential election, when I was watching the election results come in, my little puppy Winifred actually jumped on me. And as they were saying that Trump had won Florida, a cyst had burst.
Oh my God.
And I was like, this is a terrible foreshadowing.
I've never had one.
Yeah, they hurt.
Apparently it's very common, but I've just felt really tired and crampy and bloated and sad and scared.
I wonder if there's a male equivalent. Are there
no
testicular cysts?
No. Well,
of course
probably
not.
I mean,
of course
there
not.
probably is something, but it probably never happens. And anything that's like up inside ya lady bits is like, they're like, nope, don't care, nope.
Is there a baby coming out of there? No, we don't care. It doesn't exist.
Nope. And I will also say that everywhere I went, my doctor was like, well, we have to do a pregnancy test on you. And I was like, trust me, you super don't need to do that. But they have to. Yeah. If it's abdominal, they're like, and I was like, well, I guess Zeus could have come to me in a shower of gold in my bedroom.
I shouldn't have fucked that swan.
That swan was so handsome. A swan forced himself on me. And then when I went to get the sonogram, it was the same thing. They were like, when's your last period? And I was like, dude, it's not. Shut your face.
Have you ever seen the show I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant?
Okay, so do you remember who our first sponsor is?
Yes.
Leslie Posta.
Yeah.
So I just put on her Facebook the show I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant. She was like, oh, I was in training all day, which turned out that she was in training with you.
Yeah.
And I wrote in, I discovered a show called I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant, and I started watching it, and I was just like, I don't think I can watch this because
yeah, it's terrifying.
It's like, to me, it's just like, do you not feel a baby swimming around in your stomach?
Well, every time I watch the show, I'm like, oh, I would definitely know. And then I'd be like, or am I that dumb? Am I just convincing myself that I would, but maybe I wouldn't?
Like
And
some
then
of the women,
I just get in a vicious cycle.
Yeah, you just keep going round and round. And of course, there's always, I knew a girl who didn't know she was pregnant and had a baby in a bathtub or something. But it's like half of the women, they're young and kind of like don't know what's going on. They don't know their own bodies. They're like, well, I had unprotected sex, but I don't know. And
What could happen from that?
Yeah, I didn't have my period for 9 months, but I gained 15 pounds, but I don't.
I thought it was just freshman 15.
Yeah, but like there was a lady who like didn't gain any weight.
Yeah, it definitely happens. Yeah, it's terrifying.
I mean, I'm going to watch more of them because it's amazing.
Yeah.
But I prefer the I Survived if I'm going to watch something.
Yeah. Yeah, I started watching I was making Nick watch some serial killer thing on Netflix, and he was just like, I'm disturbed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you see or have you heard about the Gypsy story? Yeah. I watched that Mommy, Dead and Dearest on HBO.
Amazing.
Super good.
It's got levels. Mm-hmm. It's like an onion.
Yeah. I got Nick to watch that. But
it's a good. Did you watch the Slender Man one?
No, not yet.
It's not scary.
You say that, but you have a look on your face that
it's really not.
But if you do get freaked out, don't. I used to be scared of commercials on Nickelodeon for Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Well,
because I was.
Well, but in all fairness, the Slender Man story, and this is gonna probably ruin it for some people, is more of a story about how our country handles mental illness. Yay.
Not great.
Not super great. Getting better. At least they don't throw the mentally ill into snake pits as they did in the 19th century. Not kidding.
Actual snake pits?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Why were there pits full of snakes?
Maybe it was the 18th century.
Like, don't go wandering over there. That's where the snake pit is.
Put him in the pit.
I'm going to have to do some Googling later.
Yeah, we may need to Google that fact.
But you said it, so it's true.
I read it on the internet. So it has to be real.
Yeah. I
was watching Forensics Files as well.
Yeah. And
then I heard the music and I got scared.
It happens. Cool.
I did watch The Conjuring.
Oh yeah, how was that?
Well, I seen it in the movie theater and I thought it was really good. I really love the two actors who are the main people, Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson. And then I watched The Conjuring 2. And I watched it during the daytime, so it wasn't as scary.
I can't watch those movies.
I mean, it's cuckoo bananas because there's friggin' ghosts everywhere. And they're, like, sometimes they're mean.
Yeah. It's a little too real for me.
Yeah, I know. But would you ever go to their museum in Connecticut where they have all the, like, demonically possessed objects? Or I guess they're not possessed, but their energy is in them.
It depends. My thing is I can't come into physical contact with stuff or it attaches really easily.
So you should not go in that room.
Yeah, I just can't touch anything.
What if you were in there and you fell? What if you
then I'm fucked.
you bring down all of the like.
Well, on a personal level, I'd be fucked, and on a professional level, I'd also be fucked. So,
although
just a general fucking.
Yeah, fuckery, I believe, is what it would be. I from what I can see, based on the movie, which is probably very accurate. It doesn't look like they have any sort of temperature and humidity control on these items at all. It's more of a storage than a museum.
Not great.
No. So anyway, that's been Cyst Corner and TV watching corner.
TV corner. The things that make up our lives. Hospital visits and watching TV.
Sonograms. It's good times.
So I'm excited, but also nervous that you're going to be scared today.
As long as it's not something that's extraterrestrial.
There might be a slight facet of it. I'm just pre-warning. Do you need some time to prepare yourself?
I mean,
your mouth says "I mean," but your face says "Oh no."
Okay.
Hey, ready? I think you can do it. I wouldn't have done this if I didn't believe in you. And I was also really excited to do this one ever since I read it.
Can we talk about Mulder afterward?
Always.
Like that maybe the end of the story is that Mulder was right and he's killed all the aliens. They're out there, people.
Yeah. Maybe after I can let you look at Nick's new nose, which looks like David Duchovny's.
Sold.
Deal.
Deal and deal.
Okay. So this week we are going to explore the Flatwoods Monster. Have you ever heard of the Flatwoods Monster?
I have not. Where is Flatwoods?
So, the Flatwoods Monster is from West Virginian folklore, and it is also known as the Braxton County Monster or the Phantom of Flatwoods. And it is an entity that has been reported to have been sighted in the town of Flatwoods in Braxton County, West Virginia.
It's very specific in its location.
Yes. And it was seen on September 12th, 1952. Okay. So
I'm preparing myself mentally for the alien bits.
What about physically? Do you need to do some jumping jacks?
I'll be all right.
I feel like I need to give you a sedative.
Okay, keep going.
Okay. So, there are many descriptions of this entity, but most describe it as being about 10 feet tall. And
big.
And 4 feet wide. I don't know why they had to put that in there. It has a black body and a dark glowing face. Witnesses describe the creature's head as elongated and shaped like a spade.
Oh.
Yeah. And it is said to have non-human eyes, a large... They were puppy eyes. A large circular cowling. So it's wearing like a cowl.
Turtleneck
And chain. And some have said that it's described as inhumanly shaped and clad in a dark pleated exoskeleton. Okay. Which some have also described as being its shadow. So basically, a lot of people say that it's wearing some kind of like robotic suit.
Like a space suit.
Son
of a bitch.
Yeah. Other descriptions say that it had a cowl in the shape of an ace of spades behind a red round head. And set into the head were two eyes described as portholes, glowing green-orange, and were the size of $50.
Whoa.
The body was a metallic armored structure lined with thick vertical pipes. There are some discrepancies between the color of the armor. Some say it's black, while others say it's green. And there's some differing opinions about its arms. Some say, or most say that the monster was armless. Others claim that it possessed small toy-like arms.
Like a T. Somehow that makes things a little bit better for me because it can't probe me as easily.
Vestigial arms. Some accounts record that the creature had no visible arms due to its incredible speed, while others reported long, stringy arms protruding from the front of its body with long, claw-like fingers. Yes, little T-Rex arms.
Well, I'm drawing it as you're describing it to me.
Some witnesses reported seeing a large pulsating red ball of light hovering above or resting on the ground. And so many ufologists believe that what they saw was the craft that the entity had piloted.
Neat.
So,
okay. I mean, to me, this, even though they're calling it the Phantom of Flatwoods, that it sounds to me like it's not of this earth.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think there's definitely some debate, let's say.
Oh.
So there were a couple sightings that happened of this creature, and so the main sighting, which I will tell you, happened on September 12th, 1952.
You mentioned that date earlier because I remember, because September's my favorite month because that's when my birthday is.
And it happened at 7:15 p.m. And at this time, two brothers, Edward and Fred May, and their friend...
Ed and Fred
May, and their friend Tommy Heyer, their ages were 13, 12, and 10.
So Stranger Things ages.
Yes. They witnessed a bright object shooting across the sky that came to rest in an area of land that belonged to a local farmer, G. Bailey Fisher. After witnessing it, the boys went to the home of the Mays' home and told their mother, Kathleen May, about it. And they told the story of having seen a UFO crash land in the hills. From there, Mrs. May accompanied the three boys along with some other local children, Nell Niley and Ronnie Schaefer, and 17-year-old West Virginia National Guardsman Eugene Lemon. They all traveled to the Fisher farm in an effort to locate just figure out what the boys had seen and try to locate it. So, Lemon, Eugene Lemon. Huh?
Mr. Lemon.
Yes.
When was all of the stuff going on in Area 51?
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Was that in the 40s?
Yeah, this
would post date that, so it could have been alien madness.
Yes. This is all during kind of the, I don't know, is the alien scare a thing?
No, it's true.
Are you looking that up?
Yeah, but I can't, there's no dates because
the government eliminated dates.
Let's see. The site was acquired by the U.S. Air Force in 1955.
So after.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, but there was an area there that was used during World War II. In 1942, that the U.S. Air Force used. It was in that area. But there was that very famous,
Roswell.
Yes. Mm-hmm. When did that happen? Project Oxcart. That was 1960.
That's a terrible name.
Stupid.
Project Oxen.
Tell me about Mr. Lemon.
So, as they were going, Eugene Lemon's dog ran out of sight.
Oh, no.
He suddenly began barking and moments later ran back to the group with its tail between its legs.
Alive.
After traveling about a quarter mile, the group reached the top of a hill where they reportedly saw a pulsating ball of fire about 50 feet to their right.
Wow, that's pretty close.
Yeah. From the far side of the hill, a bright glowing shone as if from something that was like landed on the ground, and a foul-smelling mist covered the ground, making their eyes water. The two leading the group, Lemon and Neil Nunley, got to the top of the hill first and saw a big ball of fire 50 feet to their right, and the others in the group confirmed that it was basically the size of a house. So, like... huge.
It was the size... Yeah. It could have been the size of his craft.
Exactly.
A spacecraft.
To their left on the hilltop, just under the branches of an oak tree, they saw two small blue lights. At Mrs. May's suggestion, Lemon pointed his flashlight in the direction of the eyes, and to everyone's horror, the flashlight illuminated a grotesque-looking creature with a head shaped like an ace of spades. And several of the witnesses independently described the creature as having that. Inside the head was a circular window that they'd said was a window that was dark except for the two lights from which pale blue beams extended straight ahead.
Oh, okay.
In their quick observation, they saw nothing that resembled arms and legs, but other reports, which we'll get to, have said perhaps vestigial
T-Rex arms.
Ace
of spades.
Yes. So as they were looking at it, the creature started moving toward the witnesses.
I'm assuming in a hovering way.
Yes. They said it appeared to be gliding.
Son of a bitch.
Gliding.
Yep. Because that's what they do.
Glide, those bitches. Seconds later, it changed direction. So it was like coming at them, and then it was like, nope. And then
just kidding,
started heading back to the glowing spear from where it had come from.
These people aren't as intelligent as we thought.
What's up? Never mind. I have changed my mind.
You guys look dumb. Oh, right. Sorry, I was going to say, it is West Virginia. People there are very smart.
Yeah. So all of these events took place in the matter of a few minutes.
Oh, I'm sure it was going by real fast.
This is my favorite part of the story. During which time, Eugene Lemon fainted.
Oh, bless him. And he's our federal person there.
Yeah. Yep.
Because he was like, shit the bed.
Yeah. He was like, fuck no.
Look at what we are seeing. So here's another thing. And I'm gonna play the role of Agent Dana Scully right now. You said that they smelled something, and they hadn't been the ones that dealt something.
Yes.
Could that? Okay, here's my theory.
Okay.
This is my government.
Even though you've only knowing half of the story.
It's all I need. It's all I need to disprove this. Is because it's an alien. I feel the need to do that.
Yeah.
When it's an animal that's like a dog and an otter, and he's the father of all otters, I'm like, get some, and you're real. When it's an alien, I don't want it to be real because they're going to try to stick something in my butt. And
I'm interested to see how your theory will change as different parts of the story are actually told to you.
Yeah. Okay. So here's my current working theory.
Yeah.
Current working theory is that
CWT.
My what?
CWT.
My CWT. My KUDWA. Is that government experiment. They were like, and the thing that they smelled was like an hallucinogen, like some kind of gas. And then they thought they were seeing these things, but they weren't. It was sort of like in that scene of Back to the Future when Michael J. Fox plays Van Halen, and he's wearing the hazmat suit in front of his dad, and he puts the Walkman on, who's like, I am Darth Vader. That's like, you think you're seeing something? Anyway, that's my KUDWA. Continue.
Wonderful.
Please tell me It's not real.
So picking back up on our story.
Moving right
on. Gliding, if you will.
All right, let's not.
At this point, everyone's sitting there, and Eugene has fainted. Of course.
Bless him.
So
I've been right there with him.
The others had to drag him away as they ran from the scene.
At least they didn't leave him.
Yeah. That would have been like, peace.
Yeah.
When they were interviewed about a half hour later by A. Lee Stewart Jr., a reporter for the Braxton Democrat, the witnesses were barely able to speak. Some sought first aid, and the reporter said that there was no question that they had seen something that had frightened them immensely.
Yeah.
Soon afterward, after Lemon came to, Stewart and Lemon went to the spot where they had seen the creature and the strange craft. Stewart also noted that there was an acidic odor in the air, or an acrid odor that irritated his nose and throat. He returned alone to the site first thing the next morning, and he found skid marks going down the hill. You gonna be okay?
He was so scared.
They weren't lemon skid marks. They were on the hill. Stewart found Lemon's pants and underwear and noted skid marks.
Maybe they were the alien skid marks
Yeah.
because they were like, these people are dumb and let's get out of
This
here.
one's falling down.
This one fell. These humans are lame. Bye.
So he found skid marks.
It's such a good word.
Going down the hill toward a large area of recently matted grass, which seemed to indicate that a large object had been resting there.
Okay.
Upon returning home, Mrs. May contacted local sheriff Robert Carr and Mr. A. Lee, so Stewart from the reporter. Stewart had these interviews, and again, when he returned later with Lemon, he said, quote, there was a sickening burnt metallic odor still prevailing in the area.
Oh, like fuel.
Yeah. Sheriff
Great.
Carr.
Great.
I thought you said wait. I was like, what?
No.
Skid marks. Skids.
I
I have a completely unrelated side story.
Yes, please.
Anything
to like make the aliens not be in my fight.
Yeah, this will make you feel better. So, my brother-in-law, who's going to probably not listening, but is going to be mad I'm telling his awesome idea, a few years ago really wanted to invent brown underwear and call them skids.
That is a good idea.
Yeah. Skid marks. But yeah.
It's no... Yeah.
Someone else can take that idea. Run with it. So, Sheriff Carr and his deputy...
Women could wear them, too. They could be
Yeah.
for men and women.
Yeah. So, Sheriff Carr and his deputy, Burnell Long, searched the area separately, but reported finding no trace of the encounter other than the smell. Yeah. Early the next morning, Stewart visited the site of the encounter for a second time, and this is where he found 2 elongated tracks in the mud, as well as traces of a thick black liquid. He immediately reported them as being possible signs of a saucer landing, based on the premise that the area had not been subjected to vehicle traffic for at least a year. It was later revealed that the tracks were likely to have been those of a 1942 Chevrolet pickup driven by local Max Lockhart, who had gone to the site to look for the creature some hours prior to Stewart's discovery.
What was the black stuff?
Oil?
Oh.
I don't know. Maybe he had a shitty car.
Okay.
After the event, Mr. William and Donna Smith, who were investigators associated with the Civilian Saucer Investigation, LA, obtained a number of accounts from witnesses who claimed to have experienced a similar or related phenomenon. These accounts included the story of a mother and her 21-year-old daughter who claimed to have encountered the creature with the same appearance and odor a week prior to the September 12th incident.
Great.
This encounter was said to have affected the daughter so badly that she was confined to Clarksburg Hospital for 3 weeks after.
Great.
They also gathered a statement from the mother of Eugene Lemon, who said that at the time of the crash, her house had been violently shaken and her radio had cut out for 45 minutes. There was also a report from the director of the local Board of Education, who claimed that he saw a flying saucer taking off at 6:30 a.m. on September 13th, which was the morning after the creature had been sighted.
God damn it.
In addition, the day after the Flatwoods incident, a couple was taking a leisurely drive
Like you do.
through the mountains of Frametown, West Virginia. It was at dusk, and their car suddenly stopped and refused to start again. Shortly after, they smelled a putrid sulfuric odor in the air. The couple got out, as you do, and started circling the vehicle in hopes of figuring out, like, why their car was being stupid. And they saw the Flatwoods Monster. And
The Phantom of Flatwood.
they said that from the waist down, it was similar to the Flatwoods Monster, but from the waist up, they described it as a reptilian humanoid. This creature is thought to be the same one seen in Flatwoods, however, is known as the Frametown Monster.
Slightly different.
Because they were in Frametown. Location matters.
Location matter. Pay attention to geography.
So, I
just want to let you know that I just Googled Flatwoods, and it's 210 miles from here.
Yeah.
That's not far enough.
I'm sorry.
Keep going.
So, there was also some after effects from the encounter with this creature. So after the encounter, several members of the group that went to the field with Eugene Lemon and his dog.
I wonder what the dog's name was.
I know.
Handsome dog.
Let's see. Maybe it was like Lime.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lime, lemon. Lemon, lime.
Or Sprite or something.
Yeah, Sprite. Go up, boy. Go, Sprite.
Go, Sprite, go.
So after the encounter, they reported suffering from similar symptoms.
Their buttholes hurt.
Which persisted. They all had skids. Which persisted for quite a long time, and they attributed to being exposed to the mist around the creature.
Excuse me? What?
Keep your CWD to yourself for now. So, the symptoms included irritation of the nose and swelling of the throat. Lemon suffered from vomiting and convulsions throughout the night and had difficulties with his throat for several weeks afterwards. A doctor who treated several of the witnesses is reported to have described their symptoms as being similar to victims of mustard gas. Though such symptoms are also commonly found in sufferers of hysteria, which can be brought on by exposure to a traumatic or shocking event.
I think ding and ding, right? Because if it was some, so let's pretend that these creatures are indeed aliens. Okay. And they gassed these people, took them.
Dicks.
I know. They are. That's the thing with aliens. Is they're just like, we're going to take you up on our ship. We're going to do things that are gross to you. And we're going to spray you with this stuff so you don't remember it or whatever. Or it makes you docile like cows. And then we're going to put you back on the ground. And so that's why they do their little experiments and stuff. So it's either A, aliens who spray you with some gas and you flip the fuck out because you're seeing an alien and he's spraying you with gas and then does things to your butt. Or skids. B, skids. Or B, it's the government being like, let's try this gas out and then we'll use it for war.
Yeah.
Okay, go. Those are my working katuas.
So I have a couple of possible explanations.
I think I just gave you the explanation.
Yes, your explanation is much better than these explanations.
Wonderful.
So,
this ain't my first merry-go-round.
So, a man named Joe Nickel of the Paranormal Investigation Group Committee for Skeptical Inquiry.
I like this guy already.
Examined the case for 48 years after the event.
Oh.
And he concluded that the bright light they saw was most likely a meteor, that the pulsating red light was likely an aircraft navigation or hazard beacon, and the creature described by witnesses was actually an owl.
Well, I think that belittles the witnesses.
Yeah. And I just feel like that's just such a, there happened to be a meteor that night. There was also this in the background, and a giant owl just happened to be hanging out right in that location.
Doesn't explain the smell.
Yeah.
Doesn't explain the fact that a grown man passed out. Yeah. Doesn't explain the flattened grass.
So, Nickel claimed that the latter of the two of which were disoriented by the heightened state of anxiety felt by the witnesses after having seen the meteor. And his conclusions are shared by a number of other investigators, including the Air Force, because, of course... Yep.
Ahem.
Yes.
And they're like, yeah, that's totally what it is.
And
wink, wink.
And people have also said that misidentification of owl sightings are also explanations for things such as the Mothman. I wrote in my notes, don't people know what owls look like?
I think people do, especially in that area of the, it's not super urban there.
Yeah.
There's friggin' animals all over the place. They know what owls look like.
Unless it was a night bat.
Night bat. Oh.
Yeah, I just think that just, completely belittles everything.
I wish the people that said things like that were probed.
Yeah. So... on the night of September 12th, a meteor had been observed across 3 states, Maryland, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia.
Or was it?
Yes, and had been mistakenly, sorry, I'm doing quotes, but this
quotes.
is a podcast, reported as a flaming aircraft crashing into the side of a hill at Elk River.
Elk River?
Which is approximately 11 miles southwest of the location of the Flatwoods sighting.
Oh, okay.
They say that 3 flashing red aircraft beacons were also visible from the area of the sightings, possibly accounting for the pulsating red light seen by the witnesses and for the red tint on the creature's face. I wrote, are these people stupid?
No, they're grasping at straws.
Yeah. So Nickel has said that a barn owl, which has claw-like hands.
Whatever.
No, they don't. They're talons.
And
people.
their wings.
Talons. And a face shaped like an ace of spades.
Whatevs.
And that the shape, movement, and sounds reported by the witnesses were also consistent with the flight pattern and call of a startled barn owl perched on a tree. leading researchers to conclude that foliage beneath the owl may have created the illusion of the lower portion of the creature.
Do you think so? I'm sorry. Okay, let's go back to Lemon. What was his job again? Was he a park ranger? He was a federal employee of
He
some
was
sort.
a National Guardsman, West Virginia National Guardsman.
Do you really think a National Guardsman would faint at seeing a fucking owl?
Poop his pants.
I mean, I just don't believe that.
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
Everyone's
so burst.
Yeah, so they also said that because the witnesses couldn't agree on whether the creature had arms, combined with the report from Mrs. May, who said that it had small claw-like hands, which extended in front of it, they believe this also matches the description of a barn owl with its talons gripping a tree branch.
Great.
Alternate explanations put forward by the local media was that the group had witnessed the impact of a meteor, which resulted in a man-shaped cloud of vapor.
With glowing eyes.
Right. And that also that they perhaps had seen had seen some kind of covert government aircraft. Cue Scully and Mulder.
Yeah.
I actually like your explanation the best.
Thank you.
I think it's a good one.
I mean, I did watch all the X-Files several times. I am terrified of aliens, and I believe that they're out there. I
can't even put together words that, like, in the series of one night, there was a meteor and an owl and these lights all in the same place.
No. Nope.
No.
And it's like, so, I just think it's more realistic that, because it's the simplest solution.
Yeah.
That's right. And they saw something, and it wasn't an owl.
Or maybe they did. We're testing some kind of gas.
Right. I mean, it's like, it doesn't, right.
None of this
totally
explanation
reaching.
accounts for that.
Yeah.
Which was like the most prevailing, one thing everyone could agree on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is that it was smelly.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to admit that they had dealt it.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though they all smelled it.
So I did want to recommend a book, if people are interested and want to read more about this. It's called The Braxton County Monster, The Cover-Up of the Flatwoods Monster. And it was written by Frank C. Frascino.
Mm-hmm.
So that book has a lot of really great information about this, and he has really dedicated a lot of time and energy into not just being like, it was an owl.
Well, he's, if he's calling it a cover-up.
Yeah. Also, in the aftermath of all of this, this was like the great alien scare time, but people did report seeing men in black in town.
Yep.
A lot of government agents suddenly showing up.
Yeah.
In this like small town. So I think there was some hanky-panky.
Yeah, I agree. There's some hibbity-jibbity going on.
So that is the Flatwoods Monster.
Mulder was right.
Yes.
I prefer Phantom of Flatwood.
Yeah.
Because I like the word phantom, and he was wearing sort of a giant cape or exoskeleton.
Mm-hmm.
This Phantom of the Flatwood.
Essayist.
Bless you.
It was very exciting.
My child. Well, I guess I'm at peace with it.
Yeah, are you okay?
I'm okay. Because and it's interesting because I want to stand up for the people that saw the alien.
Mm-hmm. I didn't think you were going to take that stance.
Yeah. But I do believe that, and that's why it scares me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in some ways, I'd rather be ravaged by a vampire that looks like Eric Northman, that kind of monster, than taken by an alien because they're gross.
Mm-hmm.
They're not Jeff Bridges, people. They're not Starman. They look like E.T. or the little gray... The Close Encounters of a Third Kind. Was that you? Or
Yeah.
and I don't... Yeah, I saw Close Encounters of a Third Kind and E.T. as a child, and I'm scarred.
I'm sorry that happened to you.
Me too! But I won't be taken without a fight.
Yeah, that's good. Unless they gas you first. Well, that is the Flatwoods Monster, and that is Laura freaking out. Thank you for hanging out with us this episode.
If you enjoyed this, please rate and review on iTunes or whatever podcast thing you listen to.
Send us a note on Twitter.
Yes, please let us know that you're out there. Is there anybody out there?
And thanks. Keep it weird, people.
Bye.